evening. It's the March 14th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. First up, we have a request for an extension. Appeal number 2017-10, Timothy Murphy, West Main Street. They've asked for an extension to March 9th, 2020.
So moved.
Second. Oops, sorry.
That's okay. Mr. Seabrook?
Aye.
Mr. Whitmire?
Aye.
Ms. Worthington?
Aye.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
And I vote aye. And appeal number 2019-001, Robert and Kathleen Glass, Louise Court. They've asked for an adjournment till March 28, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Worthington?
Aye.
Mr. Whitmire?
Aye.
Mr. Seabrook?
Aye.
And I vote aye. All right, young lady, you're up.
Appeal number 2018-054, Joseph Calabrese, 28 Beach Road, Laurel, tax map number 671-216, RB40 zoning, for variances and/or relief from Chapter 301, Section 15A1C, where attached outdoor shower is 5.67 feet from the property line, and minimum required is 10 feet. Section 222E, where proposed rear yard setback is 37.83 feet, and minimum required is 40 feet. And where proposed additions increase gross floor area within the required rear yard, representing an increase in degree of nonconformity of a pre-existing dwelling, which is not permitted.
If you kindly raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Kindly state your name and your address.
Michael A. Kimack, P.O. Box 1047, South Hill, New York, representing the applicant. Unfortunately, he could not be here tonight.
That's fine.
Let me go back. The last meeting we had, at that particular time, we were working under the September 27, 2018 letter from the building department that listed 6 requests for variances at the time. To simplify it tonight, not to drag it on anymore, I had an opportunity to meet with Brad Hammond, the chief building inspector, to see if we can simplify the proposal. And we were able to do that by removing the 5x7 shed, by adjusting the pool, and essentially of the 6 that were there, the first 4 have been taken out, which was 301-15A, 301-15A, the shed. The proposed pool setback was adjusted, which was 301-22E, and then 302-22E, the proposed deck setback, was taken out. What remains is the one that was just written off. There are requests for 3 variances. One is the proposed rear yard setback of 3783 to the proposed addition to the house, which is in the same footprint as the existing deck now sits. The back of the house, starting from one side to the other, does extend back into the 40-foot setback. And this is the deepest corner. The other is the degree 301-22E, which is the degree of nonconformity on the pre-existing. That had been in the original request, the last 2. And the only addition to this was that my client would like to be able to maintain the shower, so that was added. That makes the 3 variances, as we presently said. So we went from 3 down to 2, and that added 1. I'm sorry, 6 back to 2. We added 1. We're back to 3. So it has simplified it a lot. A lot happened by taking out that 5x7 shed in the back. Also, what that accomplished was, one of the questions was, were we over the coverage? And that shed just put it over the coverage. So my client accepted the fact that it would be more prudent to just remove the shed to get under the 30% coverage factor, which he was willing to do. That's it. Are there any questions of me?
Leroy?
Have you spoken to the neighbor, the architect, that's a little concerned about your variance request? Have you communicated with each other?
We have not. We have not.
Okay.
What I had done, just to let you know, is the last time Mr. Buck submitted a letter, 3-page letter, I met with the architect, and we sat down, we went through that, and I addressed it in my February 8th letter to the board, point by point, and hopefully was able to give you reasonable and accurate responses to it.
I know we received an email today, but quite frankly, I started to read it and then I was distracted at home. to go over the things that he was concerned about. He felt it was an illegal use of the property for short-term transient rentals.
That has been brought up and discussed at the last two previous meetings, and I believe my client has indicated that he would be willing to. He understands the situation, he understands what he did, he understands that he rented less than the required period of time. He was not aware, and he'd be willing to accept whatever restriction and conditions you would put upon on the variance.
Well, I mean, when you grant the variance, you assume they're gonna follow the code, so.
Correct.
I don't think we have to say anything in the actual grant.
He's aware. I mean, you've made your statement, your position quite clear.
But also,
in the past.
for the public's information, I did make a personal inspection with you,
Correct.
and I did not see any signs of an apartment upstairs over the garage. So.
Nor any kitchen.
Right.
Correct.
So that being said, I don't have any problems at this point.
Anyone else on the board? No. Anyone in the audience have anything to say? We have a reading.
No,
We have somebody there.
We have Mr. Buck.
Oh! Excuse me, Mr. Buck. I apologize. And have you been sworn in before, Mr. Buck, last time?
Previous times.
Yes, he's.
Just state your name and your address.
Gerald Buck, 12 Beach Road. I hope that you all received the letter that I wrote today. And I'm happy to say that it looks like most of the substantive issues were addressed in terms of what the zoning board looks for and it bases their variances on. There are a million questions, of course, left that Brad will have to deal with the architect, but I fully realize after talking with Brad and with Carissa that this is not the purview of the zoning board, so that's understood. I think the simplest thing to do would be to just read this letter, to have it part of the record. Okay, so it says, "Dear Chair McLaughlin and members of the board, tonight's public hearing will hopefully be the last for the above referenced appeal. I wanted to state again and for the record that my only concern has always been the illegal use of the property. Short-term transient rentals contrary to the Riverhead Rental Code. I understand from Carissa Collins that Mr. Calabrese is amenable that a caveat requiring adherence to the rental code be part of any variance granted. I hope that the board can and will do just that." I know that was commented on, so we'll see what happens. As for the details and issues under the jurisdiction and purview of the zoning board, I want to thank the board for its indulgence of my questions. In addition to Ms. Collins, I also want to thank Brad for his patient explanations of those issues and the processes involved. Please know that with this much clearer understanding, I have no objections to the Calabrese appeal as currently stated, nor to whatever variances the board, in their judgment, deems to be appropriate and consistent with its previous decisions in similar situations.
Thank you, Mr. Buck.
And I think the process has yielded certainly drawings and a document that serves everyone a lot better. Thank you.
Good to hear. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Is there anyone else to be heard? Okay, let's have a reading.
Okay, well, I move that the appeal of Joseph Calabrese, 28 Beach Road, Laurel, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-71-2-16, which is in the RB40 zoning, for variances and relief from Chapter 301, Section 15A1C, where the attached outdoor shower is 5.67 feet from the property line and a minimum required is 10 feet. Section 222E where the proposed rear yard setback is 37.83 feet. The minimum required is 40 feet, and where the proposed additions increase gross floor area within the required rear setback, representing an increase in degree of nonconformity of a pre-existing dwelling, which is not permitted. It be approved in accordance with the application and the sketches filed with the building inspector.
Second.
Mr. Seabrook.
Aye.
Mr. Whitmire.
Aye.
Ms. Worthington.
Aye.
Mr. Barnes.
Aye.
And I vote aye. So your appeal has been granted in approximately 2 weeks. All the paperwork should be done. And you continue on with the project. And again, I'd like to thank everyone for being here and
Working it out.
working it out, yes. It's nice to see. Okay, thanks very much, everyone.
Good luck.
Young lady, you're off.
Appeal number 2019-006, Leszek Fabzewski, 821 Northfield Turnpike, Riverhead. Tax map number 600-109-1, 6.1, RA 40 zoning, for variances and/or relief from Chapter 301, Section 22E, where roofed-over porch addition increases gross floor area within a required front yard setback of a pre-existing non-conforming dwelling, representing an increase in the degree of non-conformity which is not permitted.
You're starting pitcher in both games tonight, huh?
You know, you got me on 2 occasions tonight, so.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Kindly raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name and your address.
Michael A. Kimack, P.O. Box 1047, South Hold, New York. I'm representing Mr. Pavisevsky. He is also present in the audience tonight.
Well, you have the floor.
He is requesting a variance for a deck that is within the front yard setback. That particular deck, if you had a chance to visit the site primarily, it's in a fairly isolated place, not very visible from the road. And where the door is, the deck basically encompasses it, puts a roof over for convenience and comfort, and elevates it. One thing that is not shown on the drawing is the fact that there was an original deck that was on the roadside, 8 foot by the length of the building, that had already been approved part of the original building. And my client took that down, so it, in effect, if you look at the drawing, it's basically on the long side of the house that faces the main road. There was an 8-foot deck there that was removed. So in a sense, the new deck, it removed it, it would have put it about 17 feet away at that particular point. So the new deck was moved to the side where the main door was to provide obviously access to the ingress egress, but also in one place to be able to have a place that you can congregate and have some outdoor recreation with a covered porch over. And that's pretty much it. It has received CAC approval with the proviso that there be a set of dry wells put in for that, which is amenable.
And there's a structure you're gonna demolish there?
The one that's in front of,
The old garage, the barn.
There's a barn there that's kinda, I saw on the plan it said to be demolished. I know it has nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I'm
what
curious.
happened was that my client built the new one behind it and then was stopped by the building departments. He has done nothing else, but it would be taken down, that one in front of it, so. And you're right, it's not part of it,
Legalize
but.
that structure if I was.
Yeah, when I applied to the CAC, I applied for both of those, because
Gotcha.
I applied for both the porch and also for the building, so the CAC reflected both of these. There was no sense to do 2 separate applications. And
No.
they looked at both, and they recommended approval with the proviso that there'd be stormwater management for both structures.
Looks actually very nice. Did a
Yeah,
good job.
definitely.
Very good.
I like
Big
it.
improvement.
I mean, is there any questions of me or my client on the matter?
I think we're all pretty satisfied. Anybody have anything?
No.
Is there anyone in the audience to be heard? No objections?
Any of the students want to stand up and have a shot at it?
Come on, make some.
Not yet, they're working on it.
Working.
They'll have their moment of fame.
They'll have their moment at the, yes.
Their
at the
15 minutes of fame.
Make it.
All right,
Be architects.
yes.
I actually go back to this property back when I was a kid, which was a long time ago, back in 55 and 56. One of our
That's when I
relatives,
was a kid, so don't say it, you know.
one of our relatives had some horses, and he had 2 horses there appeared to have been a pasture, although a lot of this stuff is wetlands.
Yes.
Close to Northville Turnpike on the north side. And I remember we were trying to, I don't know, get these horses, and we drove them into the wetlands, and I almost went up to their neck and mud.
Yeah.
And it took us a long time to get those horses out of there. I thought we were gonna lose them, but I was about 15 or 16 years old, but I never forget that.
There are certain things in life that never leave you as a memory. That happened to be one of them, correct?
Right, but we saved them.
Good.
They eventually wound up as one of the meals at the at the modern snack bar. They snuck them in.
The Glue Factory.
It was a special. Okay, let's hear every reading.
All right, I move that the appeal of Leslie Fabini at 821 Northville Turnpike Riverhead, tax map number 600-109-1, 6.1, RA 40 zoning for variances and relief from chapter 301, section 222E, where roofed over porch addition increases gross floor area within a required front yard setback of a pre-existing nonconformity dwelling, representing an increase in degree of nonconformity which is not permitted, be granted in accordance with the application and sketches with amendments thereto, if any, as filed with the building inspector.
Second.
All right, Mr. Barnes.
Aye.
Mrs. Worthington.
Aye.
Mr. Whitmire.
Aye.
Mr. Seabrook.
Aye.
And I vote aye. So your appeal has been granted again.
Thank you very much.
You know the process.
I don't have a third try, so I'm done. It was two of them.
Chris.
Thank you very
Triple
much.
header would have been a
How
little
do you
much,
spell
but
his last name?
thank you very much. Everything was concise, everything was great. Thank you.
Students, you owe Mr. DeLuca a slice of pizza.
K-I.
All right, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Oh, God.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've done your duty for the, is that it, Mr. DeLuca? You don't have to they don't have to come again to the zoning board, or you